Collective, something is coming to fruition. Okay? There was a seed that was planted a while back, and it's coming to fruition now. It may have taken a long time, but it is going to be presented to you now. It's on its way. Okay? Now, there were many seeds that you planted. So I don't know which seed this one is. Okay? There were many seeds. Seeds could be a representation of you going out and on a limb here and taking on a new job, something you've never done before, where it works out for you. Studying for a specific career, something different that you weren't sure it was gonna, you know, come to fruition for you or work out for you. This could be an opportunity that you manifested, something you wanted to do a long time ago, but perhaps didn't have like the means or the know-how. Something is being presented where you're going to have all the information you need, or the mentorship, or some sort of learning or degree, where you're just going to be set free and you're going to take it, and it has to do with an adventure. Now, another thing that I was getting about a seed being planted, okay, this is something that you were connected to in the heart space, something you really wanted. It could also be in love, okay? Maybe you had your eye on someone and you wondered if it could ever be. Um, and I feel like you're about to find out, okay? And what I mean is that if it is about love, there is someone that saw you, or you planted a seed by something you said, by making an appearance, the way you smelled, your eye contact, your smile, I don't know, something where a seed was planted and it was marinated, looked at, analyzed, felt. It was growing. There was a process to this, if it's in love. Okay? And now that seed is coming to fruition. It's something that has taken some time. So I don't think, now the time could be like you've been wanting to do something for a while and now is the time to do it, whatever that is for you. Or you met someone, or somebody ran across your page, or you were introduced to someone like a few months back, or maybe even a few years back, but nothing ever became of it. But the seed was planted. And it doesn't mean that you planted a seed like for the purpose of, this person coming to you. It was just naturally planted by your presence, by who you are, maybe your charm, your charisma. You left some sort of impact on someone. And maybe they were going through other things, and maybe they had to analyze why your presence was memorable to them. Okay? Or it's just a someone that comes, that particular someone, and I'm not talking about an ex or ex-lovers, I'm not talking about that. Whoever you ran across, however long ago that was, it's like that opportunity is returning. Okay? I'm hearing don't miss the door, don't miss the opportunity in whatever it is, whether it's career or it's in love. I heard it's the chance to recognize something again. To recognize something. And that could be for you or someone else. Okay? But there was an impact with someone. So let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, the moon and the 4 wands. It was like hidden. Something was beneath the surface here. There could have been fear associated with it on somebody's end because of other things. Or, you know, something was being revealed to both of you in the dream state over time. Yeah. It could have taken a lot of strength to come out of specific, like, karmic cycles for you and for whoever this is. It's almost like you guys had to experience other things or marinate on other things, heal, focus on career. Another one. Okay. Yeah. And there it is, the crossroads. 5 of Pentacles. So somebody realized that they did not gain anything from the path they were in. It's almost like they feel worse than where they were when where they left off. So somebody could have, you know, had lessons to learn, understanding to acquire, knowledge to be had, growth. It's not giving somebody that you really know. It's just like the opportunity wasn't time. Whatever that was, it wasn't the right time. But the seed needed to be planted. That's what it is. Okay. The Lovers, there it is. Wow, starting off with the Lovers. So Spirit arranged it that way because it was time to clear karmic cycles for both of you in whichever way that is, whether in career or love. See, when we are in lower energies that are connected to, as we say, the devil in tarot, you know, those are lower level energies. Like it could be greed, lust, desire, temptation, ego. When we're in those energies and we haven't transcended that, that's when you keep returning and to karmic cycles. And when you leave this God's green earth, you come back and you kind of come back into that cycle because it hasn't been transcended, it hasn't been mastered or understood, right? So when you get into a state of what they say is nirvana, dharma, where you're upholding universal law and you're in a state of understanding, purity, enlightenment, then you don't repeat these karmic cycles, whether with other people in this lifetime or return to that. So I feel for you guys, whoever this connection is for, whoever resonates today, I don't think you guys are going to be repeating, coming back, at least not here, next lifetime. Okay? So you will be needed maybe elsewhere, whether it's in another dimension in the spirit realm or in another planet somewhere in the universe. Okay? For whatever reason, is what I'm getting here. You may be leveling up in the spirit realm and remain in that realm doing something else. Alright, I don't want to get too deep because then I start losing people here. But, you know, I got to go with the downloads that I'm getting here. Yeah, the Emperor. There you go. Nice. So this is like your person. I had to stop because I'm getting the downloads of archangels. I'm getting the downloads of, you guys could have a higher ranking. You could be connected to angels or some sort of royal lineage in the spirit realm. Okay? Because I feel like you guys have a big purpose here. This is a very divinely guided connection. But it's giving like it was made. Okay, I see source. Also, the emperor can represent source. And then I'm getting the archangels. And then I'm getting like to you, the feminine being made in the archangel's image. So I don't know if you guys ever did research, but because it's giving like the original like twin souls. I don't want to say twin flame. It's twin soul, but it's not from the rib like people want to say. It's like a mirrored aspect of each other. So even though people would see it as brother and sister, you're also husband and wife energy in the spirit realm, because you were made. It's like the, even if it didn't, was split in two, made from one another, it's a mirrored image. Like they are your spouse, a spiritual spouse, and vice versa. That's what I'm getting, okay? That's the download. But both of you had a purpose here, and you also had to clear karma. Also through your life, you know, you made some mistakes that you had to learn from, and certain karmas had to be cleared to get into the state of dharma, so that things can align and come together. So it is really giving the state of nirvana. King of Pentacles. Okay. This is somebody definitely very successful here, with the Emperor and the King of Pentacles. Very much in control of their wealth, their abundance. This person may have Earth in their Jupiter. You may have Earth in Jupiter, or fire, Aries specifically. That's for some of you. It doesn't have to be. And then we have the Hermit. So I'm hearing you guys took a pause to go into Hermit mode. Okay, so while you were in Hermit mode, aligning with the Most High and getting spiritual downloads here, someone was in the material realm focused on their success here on earth, because they weren't connected to that spiritual side yet till you guys crossed paths. So through their as time passed with this person and they were becoming successful, you were always on their mind somehow. And then now is the time where someone is actually going within. Okay, because remember, the Strength card and the Wheel of Fortune, somebody just finished learning something, and now they're stronger than ever. And it took a lot of strength for them to overcome those cycles. And it's not only just in healing, but in understanding and allowing themselves to see things from a different perspective. So you could have brought a different perspective on certain things, which made this person think. But this person was very, outwardly focused, as most people are. That doesn't mean that, they were never open to analyzing other things. But it's like the seed was never there for them to analyze. It came when you crossed paths. And then that's when somebody took a step back. And we have the Hermit here, right? Because this is now about going off on a journey, on a self journey, right? He has established himself in the 3D, and now he's going off on some sort of journey. He or she, okay? King of Pentacles could be, it's not gender specific. But with the Lovers here, there's a feminine and a masculine, or if it's girl, boy, girl, boy. Take it how it resonates. So this is where you acquire wisdom, where you ask the tough questions, where you self-reflect, you get connected to things that are beneath the surface, right? You're taking your own path and shining the light on things that weren't either clear or things that, new things that needed to be analyzed. And that's what I see here with the Hermit. Virgo energy. So we have Gemini, Aries, Taurus, Leo. I don't know why I said Leo, but for some of you maybe. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and heavy Virgo. Okay, let's see what else. There's the seed. I can't make it up. Hang on a second. Oh. There's the seed, Seven of Pentacles. With the Lovers. A seed was planted within you, and a seed was planted within them. Okay? And that was the divine. It could have been like a serendipitous event where it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened. You ran across each other somehow, some way. That's what I'm seeing here. And that was due to spirit. Emperor and Empress. Look at that. Wow. Right under the Emperor. Wow. Divine Feminine. So definitely, like I said, this is some sort of high-ranking couple. And I don't know why people find it so hard to believe that archangels can be reincarnated. They have before. You know? Enoch, so they say, became archangel. Metatron, he was all about scripture. Archangel Metatron is keeper of Akashic records. You know what I mean? If Jesus could walk the earth and he's an ascended master, you understand what I mean? I don't know why it's so hard for people to believe that these things can't happen again or have been happening under our nose. Okay? We don't know who people are in the spirit realm. Okay? Sometimes they don't even know till they figure it out in human form. When they're here, after they go through enlightenment and understand their purpose and themselves and open the channel to, the Most High to receive that information. And, seeing the signs and synchronicities through their dreams. I know when I was going through my awakening, Source was very clear with a lot of information. I was getting, all kinds of biblical revelations, okay? And I was never one to be, like, religious, but it was showing me, like, the things that are, like, hidden, okay? And it's not just the Bible today. There's other Bibles, okay? And I was specifically shown things about the book of Enoch. I was getting things about Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Source, the Covenant. Like, I was getting so many downloads. And I was like, and for those particular people that have those types of experiences, they're not just dreams. It's like when you start putting two and two together and you're going through an enlightenment and then all of a sudden you're getting these downloads, that is, and it's something like you never really looked at before and all of a sudden you're getting it. It's like there's answers there, or you're being guided there for a reason. Okay? A lot of people don't even believe that there's a spirit realm. So, it's just... Anyways, I'm talking to the ones that get it, okay? So, King of Pentacles, King of Cups, Yeah, they were taken back all of a sudden. Now they're focused on their emotions, how you make them feel. And it's like, well, let me take a look here. Let me analyze how I'm feeling here, because I'm still thinking about somebody here that I met, that I ran across, and I felt like it was being mirrored, a mirrored connection. Empress, Emperor. A connection that was with the lovers, a connection that was created. What I'm getting is source. So this, you guys are not just, just a random soul roaming the earth. No, you're not. Okay, so now that somebody has been established financially in the material world, now they're sitting here thinking about the impact you had on them with the King of Cups. Yeah. Five of Wands. There was a lot of inner conflict here, because what happens when you go off of the beaten path? Many things are going to challenge your beliefs, right? Because in this life, we have amnesia to who we really are in the spirit, and then we get programmed by whatever is being placed in front of us or told to us by other people, or, the system, right? So then all this time we've been looking at life a certain way, focused on, okay, let's say, the 9 to 5, the picket, the house and the picket fence and the children by confirmation, by this certain amount of time or this particular age, and then retiring at 65 so that you have a few years left to live, with somewhat or financial freedom, but not really. It's like somebody's like, wait a minute, there's got to be more than this, okay? So, things were challenged. Oh, well, this whole time I was seeing things this way, so I don't know about that. And then they had to go within, though. But see, the hermit looks for what he resonates with, and they take a moment to marinate. Okay, there could have been other people in this person's ear as well when they started talking about certain things. Maybe you said something, or if it's online and you post certain things, this person could have tried to bounce back whatever you said to people that have been living life the same way they have this whole time, that are not in an awakened state. So of course they're not going to give them the answers they seek. They have to do this on their own. Okay, so there was a lot of inner conflict here. All right, but this is bigger than what they understand or understood in the moment, but certainly understanding. Okay? So the Seven of Pentacles with the Lovers. Yeah. Somebody was maybe a little resistant to this at first. They were being logical. Okay? And again, King of Swords, for me, with the Lovers here and these wings, this is an archangel. Like, I cannot make this up. If I see Temperance here, like, I'm going to be like, oh my God. And that would be a confirmation, okay, of what I'm talking about. But we're going to keep it 3D right now. And I feel like this person was looking at this in a logical frame of mind when they met you. Okay, if you created an impact on them in person, they weren't going to show you. They were very poker-faced about it. All right, not that they were mean or anything like that, but it was like, okay, whoa, I'm feeling a little odd here. What's going on here? Right? The Lovers is very magnetic energy. There might have been, if it was in person, there might have been like a level of, like little lightning bolts going back and forth with the eye contact in a good way. there was like a magic, like a magnetic synergy. I want to say synergy. All right. Now, if it was online, they felt this, and obviously you couldn't see it, and you could have felt something as well. If you know who I'm talking about here, which I feel like you do, because I feel like you crossed paths somehow, and didn't mean to. It just happened. So the Empress, the Five of Swords. What I'm getting here is that whether it's for you or for them or both, there are going to be people trying to tear this apart with their gossip, with their lies, with their jealousy, okay, with their envy. There are going to be people that will try to tear this apart. Now, with the King of Swords and the Five of Swords, a confirmation. With the King of Swords and the Five of Swords, this person could have mentioned something, and right away they got some sort of backlash. And it could be because you're very different, because I feel like the feminine energy, whether you're male or female, usually evolves first. Okay. And I feel like when this person ran across you, you were already on your spiritual path. Hence, the planting of the seed that happened here. It was divinely guided that way. However that happened. Okay? So this person stayed logical because they're like, oh, okay, well, you know. But now that some time passed, now this person, and maybe they've seen like certain people for who they are, it's like they had time to marinate, to see something here. Because they were very focused on whatever they were doing at the time in career. Yeah, now they took some time to learn a little more, to take a good hard look at you or certain things you were saying. Okay, I feel like this person could be reading something that you post or something like this. And it actually, they resonated with the King of Cups. Okay? It's like now they're looking at things with an open mind and an open heart. They're learning more about their own emotions and how they go about connections themselves. Okay? And the Five of Wands with the Hermit, yeah, there was a lot of mental imprisonment. So this person was in their head, and they had to take a step back to get out of this energy. They had all types of fears and inner conflicts, because when you go through an awakening, it's going to challenge this, because the Hermit is the key, right? That's them going off on their own, going off the beaten path to get the answers they seek, and to have a quiet moment to be able to see what they needed to see, to get past the monsters in their heads or any fears or any beliefs, limiting beliefs. This is self-limiting beliefs that would stop this person from gaining wisdom, from evolving, or from seeing the truth. Okay? So they had to remove themselves from people in their ear that are, living in dogma. Okay? And understand that we don't know everything. That's why we have to take time to ourselves so that we can listen. We could take time to listen and hone in. That's why it's really important to hone in on your own energy and take 15, 20 minutes a day to just sit still. That's it. And to quiet the mind and allow the information to seep in, because we receive information when we quiet the mind. And when we open ourselves up to receive that information without allowing it to clash with our programming, then we can have the aha, epiphany moments, the breakthroughs, the mental breakthroughs, and we become the key to free ourselves from the self-imposed imprisonment that we have. When we're challenged with other information. So that's what I feel this person did here. So let's get another row. Look at that. They were poker faced, but look at the foresight they had. 10 of Cups. Said, wow, that's someone that is somebody I can see something with. But poker faced. They could still be in this energy, especially, or not especially, but if they met you online, they're not revealing who they are yet, or they're not revealing any feelings right now. Because right now they're still learning here, analyzing this, and going through this breakthrough in their life, this awakening. I heard separating truth from fiction, and getting in balance also with their mind and their heart here. Because I feel like this person was in a battle, in a self-battle between their mind and their heart, right? That's when you're not in balance. Because some sort of perception or programming or limited mindset does not allow the balance between the heart and mind. I feel like they were like that at first, but their intuition, it was like, absorb this. Like, right away, 10 of Cups, that was their initial thought. But right away they were logical. Okay? But their intuition, which they're now honing in on, is still the same feeling that they got the first time they saw you. And it is that 10 of Cups energy. But when all the noise gets in the way, and you are mentally imprisoned by your own beliefs of what things should look like or be like, or is this even possible, or, well, I try to get feedback from this person and they say this, that, and the third, then all this, the 5 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, it creates fears. And then when you're not taking time to actually think for yourself, you end up going the wrong route and making bad choices and decisions. Okay? So it's very, very important to not allow other people to sabotage with their limited perceptions what is actually, and they cannot see, divinely ordained by the Most High here. It's clear as day to me in this reading. Knight of Swords, yeah. Like, whoever these people are, it's like they're ready to battle. They were ready to battle this fight. Like, they see you guys as a battle, like opposition. The Emperor and the Empress, look at all this opposition. These are low vibrational energies, ready to fight for their own beliefs. Right? They don't even know where they come from. They just know they've been told this, that, and the third, and that's what they're going to fight for. Without question. This is dogma energy. Living by other people's opinions. Or by how they live. Without questioning what truly resonates with them. Yeah, there's a lot of opposition here. Damn. Okay? So let's say there are people that feel like they automatically eliminated themselves without even pursuing you. And then they feel some type of way. There's people like that out there. Because they know that you would reject them. On both sides. Because this is the Emperor and the Empress we're talking about here. These are people that embody all kings and queens. Within the tarot. You're grounded, the self-worth, the insight, the intuition, the nurturing, the feminine, the masculine, the passion, the ambition, being grounded, stable, connected to Mother Earth. Okay? That embodying all kings and queens here. So these are the people that would have wanted to be with, both of you, separately, on their side and on your end. All of a sudden they got something to say. So there may be people in their ear feeling some type of way that you like this person, Okay, some people in their ear, because somehow they feel like jealous, like, why wouldn't I get that opportunity and you get that opportunity? Just as there could be people in your ear when this person comes into your life, or whoever you have told. But I feel like the feminine here is a little more quiet with whatever this is. But you're gonna have people in your ear putting in their two senses, because it comes from projection of what they are not experiencing themselves. And it's jealousy and envy, low vibrational energies. So Page of Pentacles with the King of Cups, there you go, they're learning. The Hierophant. So they do see you as someone with some form of spiritual knowledge and leadership. Even if you're not a spiritual leader, you are a channel for these types of messages. They are reading something here, or they're doing it on their own. But I feel like this person is resonating with that, and they love it. Whatever they're reading about, they understand, and they love it. They're taking time to really hone in to what they're resonating with, like I said before, without the the yapping in their ear. Okay, so you could have been, how they say, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. That's why one of you always ascends first. One becomes a student and the other one becomes the teacher, although knowing that you are always a student, because we are constantly learning, right? And so are they. But it was planned that way for a reason. That's why it is a serendipitous type of event, meeting that comes out of the blue for the two of you, for this type of connection. So the Eight of Swords, Five of Wands here. The Moon, yeah. This is also someone that had to go through the dark night of the soul, to go through all this fears and limited self-perceptions or beliefs. They had to go through this. They had to filter through this to understand that they were the key to free themselves here, right? Your limited perceptions, beliefs, fears, they have nothing to do with what truly exists here. That is, their own personal battle that they would have with themselves, and they would have to, surpass. Because that is the only way it's going to allow them to see the light. So definitely this person went on a journey of, or is on that journey of dark night of the soul. Facing their own fears, seeing it for what it is, what is not, but also taking a good hard look, which is the hardest thing for people to do, is to be honest with themselves about the things, about why things don't align for them. It's because they're part of the problem. Just like you were part of your own problem when things were happening to you. We are part of the problem. We have to remove ourselves, analyze ourselves, and get real with ourselves and face our demons in order to surpass that and get in a state of balance, peace, and enlightenment. So that is exactly what this person is doing here. So they are learning. This is someone going through an awakening. Okay? And it's in connection to that seed that was planted, and which is opening up their heart. I mean, they went from the King of Swords to the King of Cups. Obviously the Emperor here. That's the connection with the Empress here. And then, some time went by as they were establishing themselves in this beautiful God's green earth, learning some lessons. And then now really taking a good hard look at their own soul, their own spirit, who they are, and what they resonate with outside of everyone else's opinions, right? And so that's where they're at now. Okay. Yeah. And they could have went through major betrayal. And they said, okay, no more. No more. It ends here. So they're analyzing some form of betrayal here. So remember the Five of Swords with the Knight of Swords? This is with the Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords. They were people that they felt bound to here, that created spiritual warfare. And this always happens when you're going through enlightenment and you're going off the beaten path, because there were certain connections that you had established before this that was in connection to you living by Dharma, lower level energies, because you hadn't transcended yet, right? And this person hadn't transcended yet. So people will challenge whatever you're talking about now that resonates with you, but that's because you come from, you're cut from a different cloth when it comes to these other people. Your path is different than these other people. Okay, they can do whatever they want. They want to stay in those lower level energies and not surpass it or evolve, and that's fine. Maybe that's not for them this lifetime, or it's at a later time in their life. But they become a challenge simply because someone's getting aligned with their path and they're seeing things different. And they're detaching, right? People have a serious problem when they're in levels, when they're in the energy of attachments, codependencies, and control. So when somebody detaches, they take it personal. And I feel like there's some people here, and then they retaliate, and that's what shows you who people really are beneath the surface. They were fine till you decided to be your true authentic self, and this person decided to be their true authentic self. They were fine then, because, right, somebody was dimming their light, you were dimming your light at some point, and you went through a similar situation, I'm sure, because that is just how the cookie crumbles when you finally see yourself for who you are, and you understand your purpose, and you're seeing things from a higher perspective. I'm not the only one that talks about this, guys. That information has been out there for centuries. Okay, Atlantis times, Egyptian times. It's been out there for forever. But when you get people that want to put you in a system in order to control and dominate over you, they're not going to give you this information. Of course not. You have to find it. You have to dig deep. But you also, the answers are within. That's where you understand why that information is out there, because you go within and you see it for yourself. Okay? So, what I want to see now, what's behind that? Yeah, they're no longer confused. Okay? There was a cloud that didn't allow them to see these people, what they would become once they turned their back. Once this person turned their back, boom, he got just bombarded and betrayed here. He didn't even see it coming. It's like, damn. So people are showing their faces, their true intentions, their true faces when it comes to this person. They're starting to see how people react when you're just being you and understanding things for yourself. They're taking it personal. It's crazy, right? So, yeah, 4 of Wands. Yeah. This could have been a relationship as well as other people. They started to get bored with it. Okay? With whatever connections they had. Why? Because 7 of Cups is also about karma. This was a karmic connection they were in. So they could have got betrayed here by a karmic and by certain friends. Okay? And there's the boundaries. And I cannot make it up. Confirmation. Temperance. And this is protection. Spiritual protection as well. But they put up boundaries. Understanding. In time. Who the hell they are. This is an angel putting up boundaries against these people that betrayed them. Whoever I'm talking about, whoever this connection is, whoever's resonating, I'm telling you, you're not just an earth angel, you are an angel. Your spirit is angelic. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a contract here that you guys have in this world. You guys came. You're an angel. You came to collaborate with certain other angels in this God's green earth. Whether you meet the other angels or not, the contract is, and you were going to be protected as well by other angels that did not choose to reincarnate here. Okay, and your spirit team, your spirit guides, obviously, in the spirit realm, you were going to be protected and guided. But that is the contract between these particular ranking angels in this God's green earth. There is a purpose now. And that is, right, the agenda is to raise the vibration of the earth. That's the new earth. And it has to do with the mindset in connection to your spirit and source. Upholding universal law. Okay? And yes, it's something that, Knight of Pentacles, over time, long term. And the Magician with the freaking tower. You know how Nikola Tesla had that lightning in the tower and all that? And there's the enlightenment. There's the third eye. The tower and the Magician. What did you come here to do? To break the old paradigm. That's the Matrix. Who's watching? The Most High. Always watching you guys as you fulfill your purpose. Yeah, the Chariot. With victory. Looking at you guys being victorious. In that love frequency. Spreading love wherever you go. Love and light. Balance. With the black and white horse. Duality. Restoring the chaos. Like, that is your purpose. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. You don't work for them. You work for the Most High. Okay? It doesn't matter. Like, people will try to defend their beliefs all they want. But they don't have the facts. They don't care to have any facts. Some people just don't care. They want to believe what they want to believe, and that's it. But you guys are not these people. You're very different. Everybody has their own purpose, and they have to figure out who they are in the spirit themselves. But for whoever I'm getting here, these are divine counterparts here. These are angels that came here. I just showed you that came to this God's green earth in a contract to fulfill. And that is restoring balance. As above, so below. Angelic to earth angel to this God's green earth. So as within the enlightenment, so without. And that is the restoring the balance in a three-dimensional space by shifting the energy. Because as we shift the energy and vibration and frequency, all that is felt by other people. So it's spreading the seed also of enlightenment. Somebody asks you a question and you put your 2 cents in, and some people will battle it, some people will grasp it, and they'll go down the spiritual black rabbit hole, and then they'll enlighten somebody else in the process. I mean, this is high level stuff. This is not connection to the devil. The devil is what a lot of people are connected to, because it's a low vibrational way of being or living, and it's limited. It doesn't allow you to surpass. connected to greed, temptation, lust, desire, ego. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're enlightened you don't have ego, but your ego does not control you. It is in balance between light and shadow, not just shadow and not just light. You know what I mean? So bringing down the house with the magician here. And yes, you came to break down the house. See, all these bricks, that's man-made. So that they can come up. You see this, right? So that they can come to the top. But God was watching. And what's happening here? It's being dismantled, destroyed. Because they didn't do the work. They tried to take other people's power to build this. And that's why now they're blowing out of the tower. Okay? God said that ain't the way. That ain't the way. So clearly, we're being watched. This earth is being watched by higher beings. And they're seeing everything that's happening here. But because people have this belief that there is no spirit realm, and they feel like they're not going to get any consequences. I mean, universal law, cause and effect, is one of them. So whatever you put out comes back, or you have to repeat again and stay in that karmic wheel over and over and over till people understand. But you're born to amnesia because you have to figure it out for yourself, because God needs to see your true heart. We're talking about love frequency, doing what's right, compassion, empathy, when no one's watching. So when people don't think God's watching, he's trying to see what people are doing. Source, it's not he or she. Source is trying to see what people are doing when they feel nobody's watching. And clearly, it hasn't been going well. And Source already knew that's why you guys came here. Because it's been happening over time, over centuries. Okay? But anywho, wow, I went really deep there. But that's the energy. That is the energy. So let me see where this person is now when it comes to you here. When it comes to you here. Hang on a second. I'm being called to a specific deck here. Spiritual beings can reincarnate on this earth as many times as they please for a purpose. You might have walked by one and don't even know it. You know what I mean? People just don't even know it because maybe that person doesn't even know it themselves yet. And even if they did, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell anybody. All right. Tell me more about the connection itself and where this, where you guys at when it comes to this connection. The Four of Wands. Oh yeah. That's a spiritual dance. Balance between the masculine and the feminine. Why? Because there's balance between the masculine and the feminine within, which allows naturally the balance between the two of you and all that you do. There's no longer chaos. There's balance here. There's stability, a sense of stability and being grounded. Like there's only the two of you. right? It's like being in a room full of people and it's just the two of you. Wow. Three of Cups, yeah. Happiness. There's some sort of event here that I keep seeing. This may be the serendipitous event. There's two. When you first met, whether face to face or online, and now there's going to be some sort of event here. Okay? Now, I don't know if this particular event will be serendipitous as far as you guys meet somewhere physically where you didn't know it was going to happen. It could be somebody, get somebody to ask you to go somewhere and they're going to be there. It could be something like that. Or it could be that you bump into this person at some sort of wedding or concert. More likely like some sort of concert, because these are not people, they're flowers, but it feels like a lot of people. That's what I was feeling when I was looking at this. So it could be at a concert. It could be, I don't think it's a wedding, unless it's somebody you met in person. If it's somebody you met online, it could be at a concert if it is a serendipitous event. But for some of you, they may invite you somewhere. Okay? Three of Cups. With the Four of Wands is some sort of celebration. We have the Eight of Cups with the Star. Oh, wow. You may meet this person while they're walking out of somewhere. Like, it's like somebody's like, not really feeling this concert or this party or this event. Maybe I should leave. And with the Star here, this may be somebody, it could be somebody in the public eye for some of you, but it's like as somebody walks away. See the Queen of Swords here? Yeah. Ace of Swords. Maybe you say something. You speak something. Or somebody gets bored at some event and I don't feel like they bump into you, or you see this is like some sort of, you could be an ancient soul here with Egyptian here and the Ace of Swords. And you see how this statue is beheaded? This is the program mind. Okay, that's a metaphorical for enlightenment. That is the old self, and the new self is in connection to the Most High. It's not here. Like that's a stone. That's a statue. And you're holding the truth, the sword. What is going on here? Hold on. Four of Cups. This person is going to be thinking about, I see, okay, this person will be in an event. They're going to be bored because they're going through an enlightenment. So wherever they used to go before, if they're in the public eye, let's say red carpet events or stuff like that, or, work parties, work events with whatever they do for work, every time they go there now, they're bored because they don't feel, it's not emotionally fulfilling them. They may see people more as they're in a more superficial energy, or it's just not cutting it for them anymore. And they start thinking about you and the truth that you speak. They're enlightened. They're no longer in this state of mind. So they get bored. And I feel like they could have already, that could have already happened for them. It no longer is what it was. And that's because they're finding out who they are, and they're getting enlightened. They definitely see you as a truth speaker. But you know what? They saw it for themselves, is what I'm seeing here. Whatever you spoke, whatever they're listening to, looking at online, is what I feel, or whatever you said when you met this person, they're seeing it for themselves. And it's no longer whatever is going on in these parties or events or work events, and the way people act is not resonating with them anymore. And we're not saying that everybody in a that isn't enlightened is in a bad energy. No, because there's many empaths that aren't, that aren't enlightened, that are good people. But here with this whole Five of Wands, Five of Swords, Knight of Swords, with the Eight of Swords and the Moon, like, they are people. This is like a group of people that I feel are very, very low vibrational and superficial, maybe even pretentious, that are going up against this person. But it's because this person never really fit in with whoever these people are. It's not their tribe energy. Clearly, it is not their tribe with the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. So it's like they're being outcasted for being different, for being authentic to who they are. So why would this person all of a sudden continue, now knowing the truth, right? Understanding and going through an enlightenment. Why would they continue to entertain these types of people where they want to make this person stay like stuck to whatever they believe is true, but in a forceful manner, in a very combative, argumentative manner, filled with competition. That's not the way. They know it. This is somebody very empathic and very wise as well. So they underestimate this person. They didn't get to the emperor status for no reason. Okay, they're very good at what they do with whatever it is they do for work and how they move through life. But now they're going to be that much better in connection to who they are. Authentically, like in their spirit. Whatever truth you spoke, they resonate with. So they're meant to. Yeah, this is a past life connection. And they feel it. Six of Cups. Exactly. The universe. Rekindling a spark with someone you met somewhere in the universe, somewhere else. You are divinely guided. Written in the stars. Rekindling a past life connection. You come from the universe, the stars, wherever that realm is, okay, that people call heaven or whatever, where you work for Source. You could have met at another place in the universe, in another planet, but this is that connection. Star-crossed lovers. And there's the wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups, Ace of Wands. This is coming together. And this is a beautiful last reading. Knight of Cups and the Tower. With the Magician again. The Tower and the Magician. Yeah. This is coming. As within, so without. Absolutely. Kundalini rising, Ace of Wands. And what I say, you guys were made, it's like a mirrored image. Made from each other's soul, like energy. It's not split, it's this is just so beautiful. Wow. Alright guys, well, if that wasn't deep, I don't know what is. Let me get some messages here from this person. I wish you were next to me. And you know, at first they might have been running from understanding this. They got tired of doing that with I'm tired of running. They're checking you out. Okay? And you fascinate me. I'm so glad we crossed paths. There you go. Look, I love your mind. I'm completely mind blown. Like I said, there is something you spoke with the Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, and this person sees it. They were out somewhere, and they had some sort of realization of the space they were in. But for some of you, this person will, it's almost like I wish you were here whenever they're out somewhere. That's what I'm getting there. Yeah, look, falling hard for you. This is a true, like, it's given like beginning of time, soul connection. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what kind of, it's given archangels, but it could be another type of angel in the spirit realm that you guys are. Whatever this is, you guys are light workers and you have a purpose. You restore balance. I mean, that's what it is. It's not hard to believe. That's the polarity of life, is light and shadow. And when one is too much one way or the other, there is no balance, there's chaos. We were always meant to meet. It was written in the stars. Look at that. Look at that. There it is, guys. Need I say more? It was meant to be. That's what I've been saying. Alright, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. It was going to be a short reading, but my goodness. Not today, I guess. It was great. I had a fun time with that reading. Let me know if you guys resonate. I wish you guys the best. I mean, this is an amazing connection coming together. Whoever you are in the spirit. Okay, the angelic realm, you know, whatever this is, you're definitely here working for the Most High. And when you understand that everything like here on this earth just seems so, it's like when you see it for what it is and you understand your purpose, you don't give a lot of energy to a lot of things, because you know that, especially certain people, and you know that where they're coming from and where you're coming from. You know why certain things are put in place and why people do those things. But you also know that it can't be that way forever. There has to be balance. You also understand that light cannot exist without shadow, and shadow cannot exist without light. But it's always about attaining some form of balance. So as long as you are balanced within, you're going to attain balance within your life. Even within this God's green earth and the chaos that tends to, you know, come and go, right? But as they say, order cannot exist without some chaos. So definitely this person is going through spiritual warfare, or already did. But they see it for what it is. So they're checking you out. I haven't seen any indication of them. They definitely want to court you, but you know that this is a process. So just give it time. At least they're on the right path and seeing things for what it is. And the roof just creaked again. Confirmation. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.